All right, let's clear up one of the biggest rumors swirling around the Epstein files. Did Jeffrey Epstein have dirt on Donald Trump? Now here's the headline. David Schoen, the criminal defense lawyer Epstein personally hired just 9 days before his death, says absolutely not. Schoen's words are sharp. He claims authoritatively, unequivocally, and definitively that Epstein had no information that could hurt Trump. And he insists he specifically asked Epstein about this. Epstein apparently turned to Schoen for legal advice for months before making it official. So if anyone would know what Epstein wanted to spill, it'd probably be this guy. Why is this coming up now? Recently, Elon Musk took to X, yeah, that's Twitter, and suggested Trump is buried somewhere in the Epstein files, hinting at a cover-up. But Schoen jumped in, again saying nope, nothing there. Sure, Trump's name shows up in Epstein's contact book and flight logs, and they were friendly back in the 90s. But from what's been released so far, Trump hasn't faced accusations in any official documents or lawsuits tied to Epstein's crimes. Even Epstein himself, in tapes released by journalist Michael Wolff, called Trump his best friend for 10 years, but never claimed he had damaging secrets. So, if you're waiting for a Trump-Epstein bombshell, according to Epstein's own lawyer, you're going to be disappointed. Got thoughts? Drop them in the comments. And hey, subscribe for more straight-up political deep dives.
Elon Musk says he's a kingmaker, that without him, Trump wouldn't be president, that he bought Twitter and suddenly free speech was saved. But let's be clear, Elon Musk did not make MAGA. He recognized it, late, and did the right thing by buying Twitter. That was commendable, but it wasn't revolutionary. It was corrective. Now he claims Trump owes him, that he's the reason Trump won, that he's the reason Trump is president. But Elon, you didn't build this movement. You didn't walk through the fire when it was dangerous. You didn't stand up when the media, the establishment, and the global elite tried to crush it. You joined after the fact. You're not the architect. You're not the engine. You're not the soul. You're a guest. MAGA is bigger than Trump. It's bigger than any one man. It's a movement born from the people, 75 million strong, who saw the corruption, the lies, the decay, and said, no more. Rush Limbaugh said it best. I know they desperately want Trump gone, and I know they desperately want it codified, that Trump cannot run again, because make no mistake, they remain scared to death of you, and they remain scared to death of Trump. Trump's 75, 80 million votes, and I'm going to tell you, you're not going anywhere. Even if Trump does, you're not. They can't separate you from Trump, and more importantly, they can't separate you from the ideas. They can't separate you from MAGA. They can't separate you from Make America Great Again. They believe they can destroy this bond that exists between you and Trump. If they somehow make Trump look bad, make Trump look like a reprobate, embarrass you about Trump. But they can't do that because you came before Trump. Elon, your contributions are appreciated, but don't mistake participation for ownership. You didn't create this. You didn't lead it. You're not the movement. You're a man with a platform who chose to do the right thing. For a while. Now you're showing signs of the very arrogance we fought against, the belief that power entitles you to control, that wealth grants you leadership, that influence equals authority. It doesn't. We are MAGA. We are the movement. We are the people, and we will not be co-opted. So Elon, if you want to help, stand with us, but don't stand over us, because this movement isn't yours to lead. It's ours.
Everybody's looking for the secret sauce behind MAGA. Spoiler, it's not a billionaire with a Twitter habit. This movement runs on real people power, not tech money. Let's get one thing straight. MAGA was a thing before Musk even knew where the White House was. This isn't the Elon Musk fan club. It's 75 million strong, born from folks sick of corruption and lies, and watching America go sideways. Elon dropped some cash in 2024, sure, but you can't just Venmo your way into leading a movement. Grassroots means bottom up, not billionaire down. Bannon called Musk a national security threat. MAGA influencers call Musk fans grifters. Meanwhile, Butterworth's restaurant is serving up relief that this movement can't be bought by the oligarchs. You want to know what scares the establishment? It ain't Musk. It's you. MAGA isn't for sale, and it never will be. Some voices, amplified by ego or perhaps by the flickering lights of the media, now suggest a startling narrative. They whisper that one man, a billionaire with rockets and electric cars, somehow conjured a president. Elon Musk, they say, made Trump president. This is a fascinating story. It is also profoundly untrue. It misunderstands the very nature of power in this country. It certainly misunderstands the force that is MAGA. The idea that one wealthy individual could single-handedly orchestrate such a vast political shift is, frankly, an insult to millions. The MAGA movement was not born in a Silicon Valley boardroom. It did not spring forth from a venture capitalist's grand design. Its roots run much deeper. They are anchored in the soil of forgotten towns, in the hearts of everyday Americans. Long before Mr. Musk decided to join the national conversation, this movement was stirring. It was a quiet rumble that grew into a roar. A collective realization that the people in charge didn't care about the people they were supposed to serve. That is where MAGA began. Think back. Years before the recent headlines about feuds and new political parties. Years before Elon Musk was a daily fixture in political discourse. The seeds of MAGA were already sown. They were sown by a Washington elite that became decadent and disconnected. They were watered by policies that hollowed out American industry and American pride. Millions of people saw this. They felt it in their communities. They felt it in their own lives. They decided something had to change, drastically. So the notion that a latecomer, however wealthy or influential in his own sphere, could be the architect of this profound awakening is simply absurd. Money can buy many things in this world. It can buy companies, it can buy influence, it can even buy silence. But it cannot buy a genuine grassroots movement. It cannot create the shared conviction of tens of millions of people. MAGA was never for sale. It was and is a movement of the people, from the ground up. Why did MAGA happen? The answer is not complicated. It is not hidden in complex economic theories or sociological jargon. It happened because millions of Americans opened their eyes. They saw the corruption festering in the halls of power. They saw the endless, pointless wars that drained our blood and treasure. They saw the deliberate decay of their cherished institutions. They witnessed the lies, repeated endlessly by those who claimed to lead, and they grew tired. Very tired. This was not about blind devotion to a single personality. It was about a shared yearning for something better. A return to sanity. Millions of hardworking men and women felt like strangers in their own country. Their values were mocked. Their concerns were dismissed as backward or irrelevant. MAGA became their voice. It was a declaration that they would not be silenced, that they would not be ignored any longer. They wanted a country that worked for them, not just for the connected few. The ruling class, comfortable in their coastal enclaves, had spun a web of narratives. Narratives designed to confuse and control, but people started to see through the deception. They sought truth. They sought a return to common sense, a return to the foundational principles that once made this nation great. The MAGA movement was, at its core, a demand for honesty, a demand for authenticity, a demand for leaders who actually loved America. Not just the idea of it, but the real thing. This uprising was not a fleeting political fad. It was not a temporary tantrum. It was and remains a deep and abiding response to years of neglect and betrayal. It's a fundamental realignment of American politics, a sign that a vast number of citizens have lost faith in the old ways. They are looking for a new path forward, one that prioritizes their families, their communities, and their country. This is the powerful current that truly defines MAGA. Donald Trump did not create MAGA. He became a vessel for it, a voice for those who had been voiceless for too long. He tapped into a sentiment that was already there, a powerful undercurrent of dissatisfaction and a desire for patriotic renewal. To suggest the movement dies with his departure from the stage or crumbles because of a billionaire's shifting allegiances is to misunderstand its very essence. The ideas are bigger than any one man. The people are the true power. The Great Rush. Limbaugh understood this perfectly. He often spoke of the establishment's fear. And what did they fear most? Not just one man, not just Trump. They feared you. They feared the MAGA base. The tens of millions of Americans who finally realized their own strength. Rush knew that the ideas of MAGA, the core beliefs in sovereignty, liberty, and national pride, could not be separated from the people who held them. This is an unstoppable force. Consider the recent drama. Elon Musk, a figure who, by his own admission, only recently threw his considerable financial weight into the political arena. He now publicly feuds with the former president. He talks of starting new parties. He criticizes policies like the One Big Beautiful Bill Act. This is all very interesting theater, but it is a sideshow. MAGA existed long before Mr. Musk's political awakening. It will endure long after this current spat is forgotten. His pronouncements do not define its past, nor will they dictate its future. Fame and fortune grant access. They amplify voices, but they do not grant ownership over a movement born from the genuine convictions of millions. You cannot buy the soul of MAGA. You cannot control it with threats of withdrawing financial support or launching critical tweets. This movement is not a publicly traded company whose stock price can be manipulated. It is a deeply personal, deeply patriotic commitment held by everyday citizens. It is organic. It is real. The strength of MAGA lies in its numbers. We are talking about 75 million people, perhaps more. This is not a fringe group. It is not a cult of personality. It is a significant, powerful, and determined segment of the American population. They are united by a common vision for their country, a vision of strength, prosperity, and freedom. This collective will is far more resilient than any alliance between powerful individuals. It is certainly more resilient than any public squabble. The recent disagreements, the clashes of ego between figures like Trump and Musk, are merely ripples on the surface of a very deep ocean. Whether it's about government contracts, social media posts, or who gets credit for what, these are distractions. The core principles of MAGA, secure borders, fair trade, an end to endless wars, and a government that serves its citizens, these remain unchanged. These are the ideas that continue to animate millions. The movement is not dependent on perfect harmony among its most visible proponents. Even if Donald Trump were to retire to Mar-a-Lago permanently tomorrow, MAGA would not simply vanish. The desire for a better America, a stronger America, a more honest America, that desire is now permanently kindled. It burns in the hearts of too many. New leaders may emerge, the specific battles may change, but the underlying movement, the fundamental drive for a nation that puts its own people first will undoubtedly continue. It has taken on a life of its own. Ultimately, MAGA is here to stay. It will endure because it belongs to the people. It is not the creation of a billionaire. It is not the sole property of a president. It is a testament to the power of ordinary citizens who decided they had had enough of the status quo, who dared to believe they could reclaim their country. And that belief, that collective determination, is something no amount of money can buy, and no amount of political maneuvering can extinguish. The future of MAGA is secure because its foundation is the American people.
Embark on a deep exploration of the growing divide between Elon Musk and Donald Trump in this thought-provoking video. We challenge Musk's claim of playing a pivotal role in Trump's presidency, revealing the intricate truth behind the MAGA movement. This grassroots uprising, powered by 75 million Americans, seeks a return to honesty and loyalty to their country. Join us in uncovering the undeniable power of the MAGA movement and why it surpasses individual figures. Help amplify this message by liking and sharing this video. Hashtag MAGA, hashtag Elon Musk, hashtag Donald Trump, hashtag political commentary, hashtag American patriotism.
All right, let's get straight to it. Elon Musk claimed that Epstein-related documents haven't been released because they supposedly implicate Donald Trump. If those files really existed, the Biden-Harris team would have released them. Sounds juicy, right? But let's break it down and see what's actually going on. First, there's zero evidence to back up Musk's claim. None. Reporters, even the ones who dug through every inch of the Epstein investigation, haven't found files being buried to protect Trump. In fact, if there really were bombshell documents linking Trump to Epstein, you can bet the Biden campaign would have been shouting it from the rooftops. Let's be real. In today's politics, no one sits on that kind of ammo. Now, some people point to the wild world of hacked emails and secret leaks. Yeah, that happened. Iranian hackers did send stolen info from Trump's campaign to people close to Biden. But here's the kicker. There's no evidence anyone at Biden HQ even responded, let alone used it. And nowhere in those leaks were there any Epstein bombshells about Trump. So, why is Musk making this claim? Well, he's in a high-profile spat with Trump right now, and stirring controversy is kind of his thing. They're fighting over everything from taxes to immigration, And Musk even claims Trump owes his 2024 win to him. Trump, of course, fired right back. At the end of the day, this whole Epstein files on Trump story, it just doesn't add up. No credible evidence, no secret files, no Biden cover-up. Just another headline in the endless drama of American politics. So next time you see a wild claim making the rounds, take a deep breath, look for the receipts, and don't let the noise distract you from what's actually happening. Catch you in the next one.
Alright, so Elon Musk just dropped a bombshell on X claiming Donald Trump is in the unreleased Jeffrey Epstein files. That's right, Musk told his millions of followers, time to drop the really big bomb, Trump is in the Epstein files. That's why they haven't been made public. Wild, right? But let's pump the brakes and look at what's actually going on. First off, Musk hasn't shown a shred of evidence to back up this claim. No screenshots, no leaked documents, nothing. As of now, there's zero proof Trump's name appears in any hidden Epstein records. The only thing Musk brought to the table? A spicy tweet and a bunch of speculation. This all started after Trump threatened to axe billions in federal contracts and subsidies for Musk's companies, Tesla, SpaceX, you name it. Trump called it the easiest way to save money, and Musk, well, he fired back with this Epstein bomb, right after criticizing Trump's so-called One Big Beautiful Bill. That bill would extend tax cuts, ramp up immigration enforcement, and gut incentives for electric vehicles. Which, yeah, probably didn't make Musk happy. Now, for context, Trump and Epstein knew each other back in the day. They were photographed together, but Trump's always denied any wrongdoing or involvement. After Epstein's 2007 conviction, Trump distanced himself. But with so many Epstein files still sealed, conspiracy theories are running wild. And sure, Trump has even campaigned on releasing the Epstein list, that mythical document linking big names to sex crimes. But so far, it's all talk. So did Musk really expose Trump? Not unless he can come up with some actual evidence. For now, this looks a lot like a social media feud. High drama, low facts. I'll keep digging, so hit subscribe if you want the real story as it develops.